We love him and we know he's with God and that we will not forget him or the joy that he's brought to us.
Was there ever a moment that you thought that if something went down, if your son needed these friends, that the loyalty would be questionable because he was the only black person in this circle that he was in this day?
This is the thing. Regardless of the color of anyone's skin, your hope is that the people your children call friends will be there. Like that is any parent's hope, right?
What do you make of the explanation that it was because of a pump malfunction that they left?
I would not leave anyone else's child on an island. I would not leave anyone else's child stranded. You can give all the excuses you want, but you do not leave someone else's child anywhere.
You started to talk about Nolan and you said was, and then you corrected yourself and said is.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So just calling him Nolan and just still feeling his presence. So he may not physically be here, but he's still here with us. I would not be able to sleep at night. I mean, I can't right now, definitely we can't, but I definitely would not be able to, knowing that I didn't do everything as his mother to ensure that I knew what happened to him. And that's all we're asking for, is we're asking for answers.
You know, it seems like every so often, right? Every other week, every other month, every so often you see something happening, right? Whether it's a lie on the news, whether it's false information that social media has told you about, or whether it's some tragedy that happened, a couple days ago, or something that just, is messing and tearing the country up. You see something that continues to make you lose faith in the American society, in the American economic system, right? First of all, rest in peace to this kid, Nolan Wells, man. Condolences to his family. I really hope that they'll be okay. I mean, no parent wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through a situation like this. And it is truly unfortunate that something like that happened to him, you know? Um, but I think there's something more sinister, going on within the country. And I wanted to shed some light on that. And that is the fact that trust is gone, right? I made a video, a little while ago talking about how trust in the American system is gone, right? Trust in the American economic system is gone. But now it's gone to a point where trust within individuals is gone, right? Trust within corporations is gone. Trust within, friends, family, people in general is gone, right? This kid, Nolan Wells, he was out with his friends, and I know what everybody's going to say. They saw the pictures. They're going to, say, oh, it's a race issue, right? Whether it's a race issue, whether it's a race, a something else issue, or whether it's race and something else, right? That's your opinion. That's everybody else's opinion. Everybody just wants to have something they need to say, right? But one thing that can't be ignored is the fact that trust is gone, right? Trust is completely gone within this country, right? You don't know who you can trust anymore. You don't know who is there for you anymore, whether it's friends or family or whatever the case may be. Trust is completely gone, right? You can't trust anybody anymore. And we are starting to see more and more people turn on each other. We are starting to see more and more people not be there for one another, right? We are starting to see more and more individuals just, hey, when the going gets tough, it's every man for himself. And quite frankly, it's unfortunate for, people who are kind-hearted, right? People who are kind-hearted, people who wear their hearts on their sleeves, people who are willing to, sacrifice for others, people who are willing to give the clothes off their back to a stranger in need, or their last dollar bill in their wallet to a homeless person, right? Those types of people are unfortunately seen as targets and seen as prey, right? And I speak like that because that used to be me, right? I used to be somebody like that. I used to never want to see somebody like get put down, right? I don't like bullies. I don't like people who, make fun of others. I don't like things like that, right? But I've gone through my fair share of experiences. I've, seen things that have happened, right? And it has shown me that in this world, you have to be a dog, right? You have to have that monster inside that you can unleash at any time, right? Keep it controlled. Don't get me wrong, keep it controlled, but you have to be able to have that monster so that people don't take advantage of you. You have to have that monster so that you always can, if something, if somebody messes with you the wrong way, right? You can put them in their place and know, and then they'll know not to mess with you anymore, right? It's unfortunate that that's the world we have come to, and that is the society that we live in. But unfortunately, situations like this just, it just shows, right? You can't trust anybody. You can't go to people with your deepest secrets anymore, right? You can't see. It used to be a time, right? It used to be a time when a pinky promise or like a spit in the hand and then a handshake. It used to be a time when something like that meant something, right? That meant that, hey, like I mean my word. Like it used to be a time where men would give their word, right? And that's all there was to it, right? You don't go back on your word. Once you say you're going to do something, you do it, right? People will and here's the messed up part, right? People will say, people will put things on God, people will put things on their family members, right? And still be lying. And if people are capable of doing things like that, then they have no problem backstabbing you for a little bit of change, right? Or a better opportunity or something like that, right? People are looking for the easiest way and the quickest way to take advantage of something or somebody, because we live in a dog eat dog world, right? And people don't care. People don't care who they step on. People don't care who they hurt. People don't care what kind of trouble and problems they cause, and it's apparent, right? It's apparent with how the corruption goes. And it starts at the top, right? It starts at the top of the food chain, right? If the people at the top are this way, if the people in charge are willing to step on others and are willing to step on, you know, the common folk to get to where they want to get to, it's only going to lead to a chain reaction and a chain effect. And it makes people want to, take their anger out on somebody because they feel they've been cheated, right? People feel like they've been cheated and now they want to get their get back on somebody. Well, they know they can't get their get back on the people at the top. They're too powerful, right? So they're looking for the easiest target. They're looking for somebody who is unsuspecting, right? They're looking for somebody who probably has genuine intentions, but quite frankly is just, an unfortunate target, right? And that's how people get taken advantage of. I mean, me personally, right? Like I didn't even know I had it in me, right? I've had to, there were times when I had to defend myself in situations. There are times when I had to stand up for myself in certain situations. I didn't even know I had it in me, right? But I'm glad I did, because now I understand what I'm capable of. And I think that more and more people need to start realizing that, hey, this is a dog eat dog world, right? If you don't, it truly is. It's either eat or be eaten. And I get it. Some people are still going to say like, hey, this goes against my moral compass. This goes against my principles. Regardless of what people do to me, I can't do it to them. And honestly, kudos to you, right? Kudos to you, right? Because you don't let this world change your morals and principles, right? But unless you develop some type of, discipline, some type of backbone, some type of way to stand up for yourself, right? You're just going to continue to get stepped on, which is why I say America is not the place for kind-hearted people. America is not the place for people with genuine good intentions, right? Because people get taken advantage of. And I'm not sitting here saying other countries don't have bad people. Every country has, bad and ingenuine people. It just so happens that all these bad situations are highlighted in America all around the world, right? The world sees the the bad things that are happening in the US, right? Which is why we have the reputation we do. And nobody wants to have to walk with their guard up all the time, right? I don't think anybody wants to live in a society like that. Nobody wants to, just have to be weary of other people when other people probably some people probably have really genuine intentions, but once you've been burned a couple times, once you go through a situation, once you see the world for what it is, society for what it is, right? You can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, and you can't just go back to being, oh yeah, I'm gonna just trust every hand I shake and everything like that. That's just not the way the world works. And unfortunately, people who are kind-hearted and genuine, they had to get burned a couple times in order to turn into that. Like some of the nicest people, like, and this is really how it works, right? The nicest, quietest people who don't want any violence, who just want to go on about their day, who are genuinely just relaxed and who have no like vendetta towards anybody, right? Those are the people who don't want to see anything happen. They're truly, those are the kind of people who, if you bring their bad side out, those are the worst kind of people to bring their bad side out, because once you do, it's a wrap. Right? It's a wrap. And it's it just goes to show you that, people can't be trusted. Friends can't be trusted. Like friends that you thought you knew since childhood, friends that you thought you knew since, since like even now, like coworkers and everything, you can't trust them, right? Even at work, it's something as simple as like going to work, right? Volunteering for work. Oh, so and so volunteered, so we're just gonna pick on him all the time, right? He's willing to do it. He's willing to do it. Then you get taken advantage of and you get used, right? Because you volunteer one time or you do something like that, and they're gonna think that, hey, well, he did it the first time, so why not pick him for this time as well? Right? So you gotta have a backbone. You really have to watch who you trust. You have to be a dog in this world, right? You truly have to. If you want to get somewhere in life, if you don't want to get taken advantage of, you got to be a dog in this world. And it's unfortunate that that's the society that we live in now. But unfortunately, we're going to keep seeing these types of situations happen, right? And unless there's a change, right? And the only changes I see are one of two things, and that's like a mass awakening of people realizing like, hey, what's going on is wrong in this country, and everybody rising up together, right? A unified coalition to push back on the evil that's going on, or the people at the top change and are just completely replaced, right? Those are the only two options I see. Otherwise, the only thing you can do is just look out for yourself and those that, if you trust people, you can trust, and, you know, otherwise. So unfortunately, unless one of those two things happens, all you can do is just look out for yourself. And if you want to keep your morals and principles intact, hopefully it works out for you. But I just find it difficult in this violent world, in this violent society. So watch who you trust. Watch the people that you are letting into your circle. Awaken yourself. I'll see you guys in the next video.